Alright, how's everybody doing today? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about Corsair Gaming stock. Now, I have to make a video talking about the stock here today. I'm actually pretty amazed that it's down 4% just 2 days after they reported these insane earnings. And in my opinion, this stock is probably one of the easiest money stocks you can buy right now in the stock market in terms of risk to reward ratio, especially long term. It's a no-brainer stock, man. So I'm going to be diving deep into this one here today and talking about why this stock's easily $100 to $150 in the next couple of years, easily. And that's if it's fair valued in a few years. So we're going to be talking about all that today. Right before we jump into it, make sure you guys actually subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, man. I'm almost at 800 subscribers and I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers basically as soon as we can. So if you guys can help me reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers, it's absolutely free. Click it down below and you guys would help me out a lot and it'll be really appreciated. We're almost there. So that's amazing. Now, the market cap currently for Corsair is $3 billion, right? It's not that big of a company, not at all. And if you don't know, their earnings that they just released were nothing short of amazing. The stock actually on that day fell quite a bit because the Nasdaq was completely dumping that day, and I don't think people cared about the earnings, right? And then the next day, once things settled down, this stock shot up to 36. I'm like, and I was pretty mad that I didn't buy it. I didn't buy more of it. Have already a pretty decent size in this company, not nothing crazy as I would like, but when it shot to 36, I was like, oh no. And then now, since it's down today or yesterday when you're watching this, $33, man, that's a steal. So I was really surprised. It's up like 1% after hours, so we'll see what happens there. But nonetheless, man, anything under 30, 35, anything in that range, I think this stock's a really good buy, man. So what the 4P ratio is at 21, and that right there for a company in this type of basically industry, it's nuts. So first of all, if you don't know what Corsair is, they own Elgato, which is one of the biggest, if not the biggest company or biggest brand for streaming out there. So just quickly, they have everything from acoustic panels to microphones to like stream decks, where if you're live streaming you can use it. But their main product is I would guess the microphone and the stream deck and then the capture card. So basically, if you're on a computer or anything, if you're on an Xbox, PlayStation, if you want to live stream your DS or your Nintendo Switch, anything, if you want to live stream anything, I think even your phone, you're going to buy an Elgato. It's the most quality product out there, and it's probably their best-selling product. And they have like a wide variety for PCs and stuff like that. But that's their main selling product. They own that. They also own Origin PC, which this last quarter has been nuts. Basically, it's pre-built computers. So basically, I think they did something really smart buying this company. So they sell pre-built computers, where basically if you want to buy your own computer, let's say you don't want to make it yourself, right? But you want a nice quality computer, maybe $1,000 to $2,000, maybe $800, something around that line, right? Mostly high-end PCs. Corsair supplies their own stuff for this. So before, Origin would have to go and, oh, let me buy some of your products. Can you give me a deal since I'm buying them in bulk? Now, Corsair, every time they sell one PC, they're not only getting the markup, which is pretty good. Now they're able to get the markup for all their components. So basically everything they make themselves except the GPU, and then the graphics card, and then, which is the same thing, and then the CPU, the actual memory, right? The chips in there, the computer chips. So basically everything else they can make themselves. And then the motherboard, I don't believe they make motherboards, but other than that, everything is basically not pure profit, but those margins on those products are nuts. And then next is Scuff Gaming, which is high end controllers. So if you're like really into gaming, you're probably gonna buy Corsair. You're probably gonna buy Scuff controller. That's probably the main thing in the market. It's actually really popular. Like there's videos on YouTube that get millions of views just talking about these controllers, like millions of views. There's people playing with these controllers online and they get just nuts views, and that's all free marketing, if not almost free marketing right there. And then they're not as, like, you would think Corsair is a very niche like company out there. You would think Corsair, barely anyone knows about them, or it's very niche. 2.7 million followers for a company that's just doing what they're doing. That's really good. I mean, just to compare, Wendy's only has 1 million. And I mean, everyone knows what Wendy's is, right? Not everyone knows what Corsair is, but that's nuts. Even McDonald's, they're not even too far off, like in terms of Instagram followers. So they're not that small in that space. So I really like their social media presence there. That's pretty decent. Now since we know what it is, it's a pure play on streaming and gaming. If you think streaming and gaming is gonna get bigger in the future, you're gonna be buying Corsair, or you're gonna be bullish on it, right? So that's just plain and simple there. Let's look at the Twitch numbers, right? I think this is very important. This is how many people watch Twitch, which is the biggest streaming platform probably in the world, right? Right in front of YouTube, YouTube streaming, right? Like people stream on YouTube. It's probably right above that in terms of people watching it. So you would think 6 months ago, last summer, during the middle of the pandemic, you would think almost that should be the peak of people watching live streams. It's not even close. Look at this. So they've grown even month to month in terms of viewership average. So last summer, they were at, just after last summer, 2.3 million viewers. Now they're at 3.1. And I mean, this is not slowing down, right? 3.1 million people watching streams on Twitch alone concurrently, like at once. That's more than TV. That's like way more than TV. And many of these streamers, if not all of these streamers, give or take, obviously, are using some type of Corsair product. If not their computer, if not their capture card, if not their microphone, if not their sound panels, one of them. If not even the Stream Deck, almost all of them that are serious are using Stream Decks. And Stream Decks sell for like $200. The margin on those products are insane, right? And that is just crazy. So streaming, man, is not dying down anytime soon, especially if you think TV. Well, TV is gonna make a comeback. I mean, nah, dude. Even like you see YouTube, you see Facebook Gaming. Facebook is trying to make their streaming thing big because they're trying to compete. They know the future of streaming, and then YouTube knows the future of streaming. They launched YouTube Gaming, and they're really trying to advance like that side of things, right? A lot of companies are trying to advance live streaming. Hell, even some people on like TikTok stream with like Stream Decks and stuff I've seen with Corsair products. So, I mean, that's something very interesting to look at there, right? So even if you don't take that into account, I think even if you don't take any of this growth into account, what is trading at today is dirt cheap, man. That's dirt cheap. So, Corsair's based in the US. I think Logitech isn't based on the US, but it's a little bit higher of a it's a lot higher of a market cap. Logitech's like kind of a conglomerate in that space, or everyone uses Logitech, right? Almost. I mean, if you have like a mouse and keyboard, probably it says like what 40, 50, 60% chance you probably have a Logitech, one of them, right? So they're a huge company. They're not US based, which usually if you're not a US company, your valuations are usually less because of that, I guess, trust issues, or just how much the currency kind of just not enough interest in that company at the end of the day, right? So even taking all that into account, it's still pretty like low for what it's trading at today, right? But Corsair is much lower than that. Obviously, Corsair is going to grow a lot more than Logitech is. Logitech's not going to grow hundreds of percent or 50, 20, 50, 60% in the future, because I mean, they could, but it's not easy for a company that size, right? It's not, Amazon isn't going to double their business, but I mean, like a Tesla would, right? Just because of the growth rates. And if you look at Corsair's growth rate, it's not bad. They're supposed to grow 18%, and that's after. Before it was around 12%, but their conference call was so insane. Like they actually raised their numbers, so now it's 18. I think they're gonna grow 20+% this year. I don't have a doubt about that. Unless people in masses completely leave the like scene, which from what I've seen in the conference calls, what they've been saying in the whole industry, I mean, that's not really happening, right? If you're gonna invest money in a PC, you're not gonna just all of a sudden stop playing and like watching streams, etc. And yeah, that's why this can be very intriguing. Now let's talk about strictly valuations, right? What are their 4 Ps at? Let's go to statistics. Their 4 Ps at 21. What's their actual 4P like? What I think they're gonna do? Okay, so first of all, they have what? They have 130 million in cash, which is pretty good. And they said they're gonna be paying off debt with their cash flow. So they're probably not gonna touch much of this cash or issue too much debt. And then nonetheless, let's look at their EPS. I think their EPS could be pretty decent. So current year, they have them doing at 1.8 EPS. I think they're going to probably be able to do a little more, maybe even 2. And that's them paying down debt, 1.8 EPS. If you put down debt, what's going to happen? Your valuation is going to go up, right? Company has less debt, they have more assets, they're better equipped to just serve a higher margin, higher valuation. And dude, look at the analysts. Analysts have them at $46 a share. The lowest analysts have Corsair at 37. But nonetheless, let's take 1.81. At $32, it was trading even under $32 today or yesterday. That's at a 17.6 forward PE. Now, if you don't know, let's take this in context, right? 17.6 PE ratio. That's easy money, dude. That's literally easy money. That's like you can't find something better in this type of industry. Growing at these rates, like 20 plus, you're growing pretty damn well. And I don't know what. Let's pull up like one of the most boring type of companies, right? Let's pull out a Pfizer. They're growing pretty darn slow. What's their 4P at? 4P is at 12, 13. And they're maybe growing 1%, 3, 5%. Don't take this year into account, but dude, okay, they have them doing negative 15% next year. But nonetheless, these type of companies, like even a Procter and Gamble, right? These type of companies have those type of 4Ps. You're talking about 20s, you're talking about 15. Those type of companies demand these. These companies are growing 1%, 4%, and they're just paying out dividends. I mean, Corsair, man, you're talking about a 17P ratio, and they're growing 20% this year in an industry that's, I mean, look at the streaming numbers. You're growing 30% every 2 quarters. You're doubling every year basically in the last year. And then if you expect people in the future to just completely stop gaming and stuff like that, then I mean, fair play, but that's just not. It's not going to go backwards there. I don't think that's very likely. That's maybe what a 2% chance, I'd say, that people just all of a sudden stop gaming, and everything reverts. That's just not going to happen, dude. And obviously, this growth probably would have happened for Corsair if you see this year's growth. Look at this. This year's growth, it was still growing fairly well before the pandemic, and then we saw this pandemic just accelerated their growth. But it's not slowing down. This year, they're going to do even better than they did last year. So, yep, that. I think that's why I think they're going to be this kind of a no-brainer stock. In my opinion, let's say they do in the future, even if this, okay, so let's say 18.4p, right? Okay, we have an 18.4p. This stock should be trading at a 44p, in my opinion. A 40p should be pretty not out of the ordinary for this type of company, right? So we take 40 divided by 18. That's, even if it trades at a decent ratio, you have a 2x from here, right? This is right away at what, a $60, $70, $80 stock. Just by looking at it in a valuation standpoint, you have an $80 stock. If obviously everything aligned there with the valuations, if this company got a fair valuation, I mean, Yahoo Finance has it doing 60%. I mean, don't really trust that. But what is it? I'm looking at this stock though in like 3-5 years, right? In 3 to 5 years, I see this stock easily being $100-$150 with very low risk. The chances this company goes down 30%, other than a market flash crash or if a market crash. But long term, if you're looking at where the stock will go, I think it's easily $100-$150 stock in the next around 2 to 3 years to 5 years, easily, in my opinion. So this is kind of a no-brainer stock. I mean, if this company was in some insane industry that may die, but this company has been around for over a decade, like literally maybe even decades, and since like 2000 something. So if I'm not mistaken, so yep, I'm just very bullish on this one. I'm definitely going to be adding more if it dips further. I was saying it before when I was looking into it at $40-$50. I was saying this stock is very interesting, but it's just too expensive at $45. It reached 51. I'm like, oh, dude, it's too expensive. I actually bought some. Funnily enough, I did buy some Corsair at like $30 a long time ago, and then it went up so much I just sold it because I only bought like what 10 shares. I'm not even joking. I only bought 10 shares back then, and I'm not going to hold the stock for 10 shares. I didn't know it was going to come down, and now since the stocks actually came down to these levels, I'm buying it again. I'm just loading the boat up on the stock again. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Once again, if you enjoyed it, make sure to drop a like and please subscribe to this channel. We're almost at 1,000. So if you guys can help me out, just subscribe. It's absolutely free. You can unsubscribe at any time. That would be really, really appreciated. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on my next video.